we're on to the final part of the Fear Street trilogy. A movie that, is really kind of different from the elements that have came before. We're set in 1666. We get the story of Sarah Fier as we see this awesome sequence where we kind of have a reflection of Fier, a ripple in it, and it changes to Dina from the first movie from the 1994 as she is almost reliving the tale of Sarah Fier, seeing what drove her, how she became this hated figure. And it's wonderfully set up. It's creepy and disturbing, but it has this sense of community. And even though it feels like a smallish community, you get to know all the moving parts. You get to know how they're living and how they interact with each other. And it has that really creepy sense of production with the strange building, with the clothing, with the language, and the fact that we know there is witchy going on here lead to that creepy factor that starts to get under your skin. And it's nice to experience Sarah having seen her legacy and how the witch has haunted Shadyville over the past several centuries, and getting a closure to that story is really good. It reinvigorates the series, it gives you some fresh information and makes me excited for the conclusion. And that's the strange thing about this movie. It's a movie of two halves, literally. We get this wonderful tale set in 1666 as we discover the machinations behind the witch, Sarah Fier, and what she was thinking, what she was doing, and her endgame. And it's wonderfully set up, and it contextualizes a lot of the information that we have seen in the first two Fear Streets, making it much more interesting than I originally gave it credit for. And then midway through this movie, maybe 2/3 of the way through, we get a title card flash up and say Fear Street 1994 Part 2, and we jump into the current time where we're watching Dina and her brother and Ziggy deal with the ramifications of their history with Sarah Fier and how they're going to get closure on it. And we bring back all the baddies, we bring back the music cues, the look, the neon lights, the style and substance that it had in the first movie, and it just creates a wonderful finale that's full of tension, that's you're expecting people not to make it. We've seen in 1994 Part 1 that people will not make it to the end of this tale, and you get that threat here again. Characters that we have now grown with, that we now love, that we enjoy and want to see survive, are now put in a situation of danger, and there is real weight to that. You feel like things could go wrong. The bad person could win out, and this could just be another stage in Sarah Fier's history of terror. I really enjoyed this movie. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the first half of it. That settler type tale with those characters, the little community, the kids who were kind of cutting loose in such a fantastical way, the set design, the twists and turns that were revealed throughout it, the sheer mounting terror and fear that we see within Sarah Fier herself as things get rapidly out of hand, as people who seemed one thing suddenly become something else. Both good people going bad and perceived bad people going good. It really does change a lot of the mythos of the Fear Street story, and I really appreciated that. In fact, it's something that makes me really interested in going back and revisiting this. The conclusion is wonderfully set up and executed and gives us terrific, iconic horror figures battling off against some other iconic horror figures in strange ways. And I do count these as iconic figures because they have a look to them that is haunting and terrifying and scary. I loved the conclusion. I felt it was fitting. I loved the way it was thought out. I loved the way all three of these movies interconnect, and I was a little bit worried about how they would finish off the trilogy, but they land it, and they land it in such a fantastic way that I was just over the moon with this film. It finished the trilogy perfectly. It's great. I'd love to know your thoughts on 1666. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll probably be back with a more in-depth review of all three of these movies when I've watched them again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.